YouTube, what's good? Be sure to dev, and y'all, today we are doing, as you can see, the Millennial Kids Shows bracket. Now, it's just something I saw floating around on Facebook. You guys can see it here. It is the Millennial Kids Shows bracket. It is 4 regions, I guess you could call it: Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and then kind of a random region with Fox shows, WB shows, 4Kids animation shows, Toonami shows, and more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through these one by one, all of the matchups. And I've got this open. You can't see it, all the extra windows, because I've got the recording software set up, but this is in Photoshop. So I'm just going to copy and paste the show's logo that's moving forward. And we're just going to fill this out live. Some of the logos are kind of hard to see. So if it's a show I've never heard of, I might just be guessing. So now, the criteria for how I'm going to rate these shows or decide what moves on and what stays, it's going to be my favorite. So this is going to probably piss a few people off because I'm going to make some choices that might shock some people. So yeah, I mean, we're going to just jump right into this, and we're going to get started with the top left bracket, the Nickelodeon bracket. Also, I want to shout out at the bottom, you see the creators. The concept and the seating was Tommy Bailey, and the visual was Matthew Vareve. Shout out to them. They went through all the hard work, for real. Whoops. They went through all the hard work. I'm just reacting to it, basically. So anyway, Nickelodeon bracket. So like I said, some of the stuff's kind of pixelated, but you can still see relatively what we're dealing with here. So the 1-16 matchup at the top, SpongeBob versus Chalk Zone. I think we all kind of know who wins this one. That's SpongeBob. I like Chalk Zone, but not enough to move it above SpongeBob. Are y'all serious? It's got to be my main man, SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, Amanda Show versus iCarly. Now, this is actually interesting because, you know, anybody who knows a little history knows that without the Amanda Show, there probably isn't an iCarly, because the Amanda Show was where Drake and Josh got their start, and then Drake and Josh is where Miranda Cosgrove got her start, and she kind of got the stardom to get her own show, iCarly. Now, as far as the two shows, they're two completely different shows. Amanda's show was basically like sketch comedy, while iCarly was essentially predicting YouTube shows back in like the mid 2000s. As far as entertainment value of the shows, I watched them both far more than a teenage boy probably should have. And as far as the better show, I mean, you probably gotta say iCarly, to be fair. Like, Amanda Show was good, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of like a knockoff All That. iCarly was an original concept, and it was kind of in theory ahead of its time a little bit, which I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure not a lot of people thought we'd be talking about iCarly. And let me make sure I get the seating in. Oh, that wasn't fun. I thought I copied. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry, y'all, technical difficulty. We got it moved, though. iCarly has moved over. Now, moving on to 512, Jimmy Neutron versus All That. Now, I feel like in doing this, looking at these shows, you're going to run into this issue where there's stuff that came out in the late 90s versus stuff that was more recent in our memory. But the thing was, I was actually young enough to remember All That. I had like the All That soundtrack with all the songs they played. So I actually remember All That, and I'm trying not to let nostalgia mess with me too much on some of these shows, because, you know, some of these shows were actually pretty, you know, they were good, but they're good, but we remember them very much. So you have to fight against nostalgia versus, you know, bias for something being recent. And I mean, Jimmy Neutron was okay, but I'm actually going to go All That. I'm going to do some old head type shit, and I'm going to go for All That. All right, now we've got Fairly Oddparents versus Danny Phantom. This one, to me, is pretty straightforward. It is obviously Fairly Oddparents. That was the show back in the day, and Danny Phantom, I mean, it was okay, but it was nowhere near as good as Fairly Oddparents. This one's easy. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go down each round. I'm not going to go bracket by bracket. So we're going to go ahead and move down, and we're going to keep moving down all the way through. We're going to go Disney Channel after we get through Nickelodeon. All right, next up is 6 versus 11. Hey Arnold versus Zoe 101. And I mean, I watched a little of Zoe 101, but I mean, it's Hey Arnold, isn't it? You know, Hey Arnold is like that classic show that everybody loved, and you got to go with Hey Arnold. You can't not pick Hey Arnold against Zoe 101. No offense to Zoe 101. All right, Drake and Josh and Cat Dog. Again, this is one of those shows where you got an old show that might have had like a cult following versus a newer show. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Cat Dog was like big in my childhood. Like, I have to do some old head shit and I have to go for Cat Dog. Like, I just have to, because I feel like a lot of the younger millennials or whatever are gonna go and say Drake and Josh, but like, yo, Cat Dog was the show. Like, Cat Dog was the show, bruh. All right, number 7 versus number 10, Doug versus Wild Thornberrys. I actually watched both of these shows a lot, but I kind of thought Wild Thornberrys was not really that good. Like that was a show I would skip if I had the choice. So I'm going to go with my man Doug, just on the strength of that. Like, just not being a fan of the Wild Thornberrys like that as a kid. All right, moving on. Rugrats versus Rocket Power. I always kind of thought Rocket Power was just like the Wild Thornberrys and that it was kind of overrated. So I'm going to pick Rugrats. This is going to get me like cussed out by some people, isn't it? Some of these choices. But you know, it's just, that's what I believe to be true. You know, like, some of these shows are just overrated. Moving on, Disney Channel. All right, Lizzie McGuire versus, I think that's Sunny with a Chance. All right, now let's have some fun with this, because the only show of these I've watched more episodes of Sunny with a Chance than I have Lizzie McGuire, just from watching the end of Sunny with a Chance. Because that was the show with where they were making like the vlog for the baby. They were recording the whole movies, and Lizzie McGuire, like, I know people like Lizzie McGuire, but I mean, to be fair, looking at the next matchup, which is great editing there, 8 versus 8. I know whatever I pick there is going to beat whatever I pick here. So for the sake of controversy, I'm going to pick Sunny with a Chance, because just on the strength of, I can't pick a show I ain't seen. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You can't go out here picking shows that you've never seen before. So I have to go with Sunny with a Chance on the fact that I've seen more of it. Now, Phineas and Ferb versus Recess is actually a very kind of good one. Phineas and Ferb wins out easy though. Like, I love Recess. Like, it was a good show, don't get me wrong. It is a classic, but I mean, it's Phineas and Ferb. Like, this is like, what kind of question is this? It's Phineas and Ferb. Moving that on down. Next one, Wizards of Waverly Place versus Hannah Montana. I feel like this seating is kind of jacked up, because I think Hannah Montana's gotten negatively rated because of Miley Cyrus's antics as an adult. Hannah Montana used to be the show in terms of carrying Disney Channel. Like, Hannah Montana carried the shit out of Disney Channel for a couple years. Like, I feel like rating it a 12 is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's disrespectful to rate Hannah Montana at 12. And again, on the strength of watching shows, I didn't watch a lot of Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I ended up catching more glimpses of Hannah Montana, so we gotta go with Hannah Montana. But I feel like it's disrespectful for that to be seated 12th. All right, That's So Raven versus House of Mouse. Yo, that is actually a interesting combination. Because I mean, obviously I'm going That's So Raven. It's the show, but House of Mouse could have, like, if they'd have put that against a different show, House of Mouse could have went somewhere, because House of Mouse was like a very good show, especially for a generation of kids who grew up watching like Looney Tunes and like watching like old-fashioned cartoons, right? Like, that was what House of Mouse was. It was like they took like this show where it's supposed to be like filler between cartoons, like old-fashioned just cartoons. It doesn't have to have a point. It's not really like a series or nothing like that. It was like just random ass cartoons. And House of Mouse was like a very good show. So I feel like it's a shame that they put up against like That's So Raven, which is the show, but you know, it happens. Sweet Life, Zack and Cody versus Phil of the Future. Sweet Life wins this easy, like easy cake for Sweet Life with Zack and Cody. Not much to say about that. I didn't really watch Phil of the Future like that, so it's easy for me to just go Sweet Life and move on. Kim Possible versus Buzz Lightyear Star Command, bruh. I think they did my man Buzz Lightyear dirty. Like, I feel like Kim Possible should have been hired to Lizzie McGuire. But this might be just me biased thinking about my childhood. I watched a lot of Kim Possible, not gonna lie. It was a show, man. It was the show. And it's a shame they put Buzz Lightyear Star Command against it. It's weird that they're putting like, because a lot of these shows, I feel like they didn't come out on like Disney Channel. They came out on like Toon Disney. And they're throwing them, like, I don't think House and Mouse was on Disney Channel ever. It was always on Toon Disney. So I feel like they throwing some of these shows just in here. Next up, Even Stevens versus the Proud Family. I mean, this is just disrespectful. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm doing to Even Stevens what I feel like the bracket seeders did to Hannah Montana. I feel like I'm just going up against Even Stevens based on Shia LaBeouf and how he's been as an adult. Because I do remember it being a relatively popular show. All that said, I'm going with the Proud Family. I mean, like, the Proud Family was the show. You guys already know this, man. I'm rooting for everybody black. You know how this goes out in these streets. Even not even with the black thing, like just on a show thing. I didn't really watch Even Stevens as a child. I watched a lot of the Proud Family as a child. And the last one, Boy Meets World versus Teacher's Pet. Boy Meets World is another one of them shows that's really, really old, and it's so old that it's before my time a little bit. I didn't watch Boy Meets World a lot. I didn't watch it when it came on ABC, and I didn't watch it when they showed the reruns on Disney Channel. Teacher's Pet is a show I watched like Saturday morning style on Teacher's Pet. That was a show I feel like was underrated. I feel like 15th is a good spot for it in this bracket, and I feel like I am going to pick it. Bam. So we've got that second round on the left side of the bracket. All right, y'all. So now, Cartoon Network side of the bracket. Powerpuff Girls versus My Gym Partner's a Monkey. Again, this is a show. I feel like My Gym Partner's a Monkey they just kind of gave it the short end of the stick here, because there's no way it's beating Powerpuff Girls. I mean, that's just the fact. You know what I mean? Billy and Mandy versus Chowder. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this might be the hardest matchup of the first round so far. I haven't seen what's further down the bracket, but this is hard for me because I like both these shows a lot, and I liked both of these shows like a lot. Like, these were like favorite show levels when they were on TV, like active. I'm gonna go with Chowder. I'm going with Chowder. I know some people are gonna hate me for this, but I'm going Chowder. Bam, I did it. Chowder. I don't think as an 8 seed won any of these. Like, I don't know if an 8 seed has won any of these. We'll look back later in the next round. Courage the Cowardly Dog versus Samurai Jack. Now, this is funny because I feel like a lot of diehard nerds are going to go with the upset and pick Samurai Jack. I didn't really like Samurai Jack when it first came out. Like, I watched it, but it was one of them shows I watched because it was a cartoon on TV, and it let me, it just occupied my time. I'm going to go with Courage the Cowardly Dog, though. And I know there's going to be some diehard nerds that are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? But there we go. We've done it. We made the selection. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Moving on to the next round. Now, Scooby-Doo versus Cow Chicken. I'm going to assume by that logo that they mean like Scooby-Doo, like the old school good one, and not like a pup named Scooby-Doo or like the new ones they came out, like the What's New Scooby-Doo or whatever. If they're talking like the OG Scooby-Doo, I'm still not gonna lie to you, I didn't really like Scooby-Doo that much. Like, that's just the truth. I'm just trying to be real with y'all. Like, y'all learned so much about my childhood in this quiz. I just didn't do Scooby-Doo like that. So, yeah, I done it. Moving down in the bracket, Codename Kids Next Door, Johnny Bravo. Now, this is hard. Like, Johnny Bravo was my show in that like stupid ass cartoon kind of way, you know what I'm saying? But Codename Kids Next Door was like my show in that like, yo, this is a dope ass cartoon kind of way. And they kind of grew with me in that way. Like, I was at Johnny Bravo watching age when Johnny Bravo was hot, and I was at the Codename Kids Next Door age when Codename Kids Next Door was hot. So I've got good memories of both of those. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Johnny Bravo, like since I like both of these shows the same, Kids Next Door on a show level was just better than Johnny Bravo. That's just a fact. Like Johnny Bravo was just kind of random cartoon humor. Kids Next Door had a good plot actually, and they kept it running for a long time, and it actually had a point. But we're gonna go with codename Kids Next Door. Ed, and Eddy versus Star Wars: The Clone Wars, y'all. Ed, Eddy might be my favorite cartoon on this whole bracket. Like the whole damn thing. Like it's going to need to be something where I'm like, oh Jesus, what do I do to pick something that's not Ed, and Eddy? And it's even easier in this round because I did not watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars like that. I don't think I watched any of the Clone Wars cartoon. Like I think I might have been in college when this came out, and in college I didn't watch TV at all. Like at all. Like I was not watching TV in college. So yeah, Foster Home for Imaginary Friends versus Ben 10. I watched so little Ben 10. Actually, I watched Ben 10 the way I watched Samurai Jack. I needed a cartoon to keep me busy as a child, so I would turn Ben 10 on, but I wasn't really watching Ben 10 like that. So yeah, I watched more Foster's Home. That's just a fact. 2 vs 15, Dexter's Lab, Camp Lazlo. I like Camp Lazlo, but I like Dexter's Lab. I mean, Dexter's Lab was like an actual good show. And even when they brought it back, it was still a good show. But you gotta go Dexter's Lab. Go ahead and move it up. And the best part is in the future is I'll just be able to click on these and copy them instead of having to do the rectangle marquee to move it forward and copy paste. Now, this is gonna be fun. This is funny. So it looks like they just compiled a bunch of stuff that they couldn't fit in the other brackets, which is kind of some bullshit. Anyway, Animaniacs versus 16. Animaniacs, man. I remember watching that as a kid. That was like a show I messed with heavy as a child, was Animaniacs. And then when it came back on Netflix, I watched the shit out of it again. And I need to get back on it to finish it where I started. But 16 was underrated. 16 was mad underrated though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dragon Ball Z versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Why y'all do this? Why did y'all do this? Like, why is Dragon Ball Z an 8 seed in any of these brackets? Right? Like, what are the rest of the seeds in this bracket? Sonic X could have been dropped. Naruto could have been dropped. Batman could have been dropped. Pokemon probably could have been dropped a little lower. Teen Titans could have dropped. Why is DBZ at 8? Who did this? Like, why have you done this? And put it against Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, y'all. I'm going Dragon Ball Z. There's a lot of emotions I've got running through my mind, and as I copy this over, I'm gonna tell you about them. So, like, as a kid, I didn't really watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch a lot of DBZ as a child. Like when it first ran in the US, like late 90s, early 2000s, whatever that was, I didn't watch a lot of it. I got into it a little bit later. Dragon Ball Z. I got into it like watching Cell Games reruns maybe. And then it was Cell Games when it was happening. And then I watched Majin Buu. And I haven't caught up with Super right now because I've been doing other stuff. But yeah, like the first episode of Dragon Ball Z I watched was it was the Cell Games episode where Cell where they thought Goku thought he killed Cell, and then Cell popped back and beamed Trunks and killed Trunks. Like that's the first vivid DBZ live watching it as it happened memory that I have. So with all that said, like I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Way more as a child, but I only watched like that first series of Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't watch like the 5Ds or all the other extra Yu-Gi-Oh! So I had to go with DBZ. Sorry for that long-winded explanation. Oh, they did it to me again. Teen Titans versus Power Rangers. Now I'm assuming this is Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go. And I'm assuming this is, like, I don't know where we're talking on Power Rangers. See, that's the thing. Like, are we looking at Power Rangers as a series? Are we looking at one specific Power Ranger? Are we looking at one specific group of Power Rangers? Are we looking at one specific group of Teen Titans? Like, if we count Power Rangers from end to end, do we count Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go? Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Kid be short to dev. kid, if we're talking about the child, right? Moving on. Sonic X, Sailor Moon. Real talk, I have watched 0 episodes of each of these. Yo, Power Rangers is about to like slide into the Sweet 16 on a cheat. I didn't watch either of these as a child, so I'm gonna go Sonic X. Because I may have watched Sonic on like accident. You know what I mean? Like I probably watched one of the other Sonics, like one of the other bazillion Sonic cartoons that came on like UPN or something. So moving that forward, Naruto Mucha Lucha. I have not watched a lot of Naruto. I have watched Mucha Lucha. This is going to, like, people are going to watch this. And they're going to think I have the worst taste and the worst childhood. Avatar versus One Piece. You never guess. I haven't watched a lot of One Piece either. As well as I copied the text in Avatar in the Mucha Lucha. Oh well. Batman animated series versus Johnny Test. I'm going to go Johnny Test just because I didn't watch a lot of Batman animated series, and Johnny Test is just a funnier cartoon than me, to me. Just be honest here. This has been, like, I have a feeling this might be either extremely long or extremely short, depending on how I chop this up. Pokemon versus Digimon. Y'all some dickheads. Like, y'all set this up on purpose. Y'all really ran Pokemon versus Digimon. I mean, we're going on the strength of the show, not the strength of the entire media franchise. That's all I gotta say about that. All right, y'all, this is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. So we looking at the matchups here. Tommy Bailey, you made this hard as fuck. I will give you props, my dude. You made this hard. So second round, let's jump into it. Starting back up, top left corner, Nickelodeon bracket. All right, not gonna lie, this might get kind of easy. SpongeBob versus iCarly is SpongeBob for me. It's not even that hard of a choice. All That versus Fairly Oddparents. I gotta go with the Fairly Oddparents. I have way better memories and way more memories of the Fairly Oddparents than I do of All That. Hey Arnold versus Cat Dog. I gotta go Hey Arnold, man. It's hard, but just Hey Arnold ran much longer than Cat Dog. That to me, almost on its own, pushes it ahead. Doug versus Rugrats. I got way more better memories of Rugrats. The second round is going way faster than round one. Moving on down, Sunny with a Chance has no chance against Phineas and Ferb. Hannah Montana versus That's So Raven. Do you even have to ask? Sweet Life is Zack and Cody versus Kim Possible. I mean, I told y'all I watched way too much Kim Possible as a teenage boy. Proud Family versus Teacher's Pet. This one's actually kind of hard, but I gotta go with my girl Penny and Company. Cartoon Network, Powerpuff Girls versus Chowder. This is actually hard. I'm going Powerpuff Girls, but I really enjoyed Chowder. It's just Chowder did not have a long run. Courage the Cowardly Dog versus Cow and Chicken. I'm going with Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh, I mean, you gotta go with Courage. Ed, Eddy versus Kids Next Door. Kids Next Door is not strong enough to be my favorite cartoon. I'm sorry. Foster's Home versus Dexter's Lab. You gotta go with Dexter's Lab over Foster's Home. Dexter's Lab was just so much better. Animaniacs versus DBZ. Strength of the show. I feel like they kind of did Animaniacs a disservice by putting them number one in this category. Like, there's no way Animaniacs should have been number one in this category. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good show, but it was not a number. It's not a number one seed. The likes of Powerpuff Girls and SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go Dragon Ball Z. It knew exactly where to put it. Power Rangers versus Sonic X. I'm going Power Rangers. Just because, like I said, I didn't even see Sonic X. Mucha Lucha and Avatar. So this will be fun. I've never seen it in the Avatar. And I'm not counting Korra, and I didn't see Korra either. I probably have seen more episodes of Avatar. But here's my thing, right? If you had to sit me down and said, Brandon, watch one of these episodes. You get an episode of Mucha Lucha or an episode of Avatar. I'm picking Mucha Lucha. There, I said it. Digimon, Johnny Test. I would probably go stupid copy paste. Going Digimon. Whew, that was a much less painful round. All right, so I want to just say this top half of the bracket, like these top 8 shows here, like if you had to condense my childhood TV watching from like 03 to 08, like this is it. So this is extremely hard. SpongeBob versus Fairly Oddparents. I mean, like, can we just be honest and Fairly Oddparents should have been like a 3? Like can we just be honest on that? And Fairly Oddparents should have been a 3, not a 4. Like this is unfair. This is so hard. SpongeBob. I mean, SpongeBob is like a damn TV empire. And Fairly Oddparents, you can almost argue, was just like, it filled the same niche. They were both just stupid ass shows. And I can't say which one I would rather have. If you set me down and I had to watch an episode randomly of SpongeBob or Fairly Oddparents, which one am I watching? All right, moving on. Hey Arnold, Rugrats. I'm watching Rugrats before I'm watching Hey Arnold. Phineas and Ferb versus That's So Raven. Oh goodness. I was rooting for everybody black, but I got them thrown out the window now. This is actually hard. Like if I had to watch, like That's So Raven, it was a good show. I think Phineas and Ferb is, even as a 26-year-old adult, I think Phineas and Ferb is more enjoyable. Like I would watch Phineas and Ferb now. Kim Possible versus the Proud Family. This is actually interesting because these two shows also were like major parts of that, like, you know, preteen, teenage TV watching era for me. That's actually, which one would I watch? If I watch Proud Family right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I watch Proud Family over Kim Possible, even though Kim Possible was good. Like we're at the point now where that's how I'm deciding this. If you had to give me one of the shows, which one would I watch? All right, Cartoon Network, Powerpuff Girls or Courage? I'm watching Courage, yo. Courage was way funnier to me than Powerpuff Girls. Just being honest. Ed and Eddy versus Dexter Lab. I was dreading this the moment I saw they were on the same end of the bracket. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, these are like top 2 favorite shows all time for me, right? Like, this was actually like a difficult decision for your boy. Because, like I said, top 2 shows. Like, I'd watch Ed and Eddy and Dexter's Lab all day. Like, if marathons of them were happening, my black ass was on the couch. So, to pick one or the other is extremely difficult. I just realized this is not all the way in the shot. Woo, y'all, this is actually not the easiest question, the easiest choice. I'm going Ed and Eddy. I can't do that to my boys. Can't do that to the boy. Can't do that to the man them. Get it lined up. All right, Dragon Ball Z or Power Rangers. Now this is like, it's Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry, Power Rangers is one of those nostalgically, it's a good show. If we're going on the same, if I had to watch an episode of it right now, ain't no way in hell I'm watching Power Rangers right now. I watched the Power Rangers on Netflix a few years ago and I was like, this is the worst acting of all time. I'm watching DBZ. Mucha Lucha versus Digimon. I'm watching Digimon. A 15 seed, the Scenes 15 seed has made it to the last 8 remaining shows. Can you imagine? Actually, I don't know. I've not been paying attention to the NCAA tournament right now, so it might be happening IRL. I cannot tell you. All right, last 2 on the Nickelodeon. The winner of the Nickelodeon bracket, Nickelodeon region. If we were doing this as actual March Madness, Fairly Oddparents, Rugrats. All right. If I had to watch an episode, I'm watching Rugrats. I'm watching Fairly Oddparents. Sorry, lost track of my own words. I'm watching Fairly Oddparents. Because here's the problem, right? Are we counting All Grown Up and Rugrats? Because I would not watch All Grown Up, but I would also not watch the current Rugrats either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the current Fairly Oddparents. I would not watch that either. So it's kind of like, what would I watch? Like, there's like Rugrats has got a better track. I'm going Rugrats. I'm swapping. I was waffling earlier. I you know, like I knew I made a bad choice when I said Fairly Oddparents, and I changed my mind. Phineas and Ferb v. Proud Family. Bruh. Like, this one's hard too, because like, if I had to watch a show of these two, which was the better show? Which one would I pick now? Which one would I have picked as a you know, 15-year-old, right? Watching cartoons, 12-year-old, however old the acceptable cartoon watching age is. I'm not gonna lie, I like Phineas and Ferb into like kind of adulthood. Just be honest. So, Cartoon Network. This one, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I had to pick, like, if I had to pick Courage and Ed, Edd n Eddy, and there were times where, like, they were coming on and they were watching back to back. If I had to not miss one or the other, it was Ed, Edd n Eddy. I have an irrational love for this damn show. And it's showed by the fact that it's in the Final Four. DBZ versus Pokemon. I'd watch DBZ, right? Even if, like, if we're just going on the strength of DBZ, right? Not Super and not Dragon Ball. Like, we're just talking about Saiyan Saga through Majin Buu Saga. I'd watch Dragon Ball 5 times out of, like, 7 days out of the week. If you gave me a choice, every time I'd pick Dragon Ball Z over Digimon, with the exception of like the last few episodes of each season of Digimon where the shit got really good. So we've got our Final Four. I'll zoom out for this one. We have Ed, Edd n Eddy versus Dragon Ball Z and Rugrats versus Phineas and Ferb. Y'all, like, you see this? Do you see this? The Final Four. So who makes it to the final? I'm going to go with this one first. We're going left to right so far. Left down, right now. So we're going to start Rugrats versus Phineas and Ferb. What have I been? I've been going by the criteria. What would I watch now? Would I watch Phineas and Ferb or Rugrats? And I've been going by the criteria of what would I watch? What would I have watched if I was like 15 or 12? You gave me the choice. I mean, Phineas and Ferb is just a show. Like, it's on the. It's like, you can't let nostalgia cloud you, but you can't let recency cloud you. I think. Yo, this is hard. Like, and I guess it's the point supposed to be hard when you get to the end. Rugrats or Phineas and Ferb. Like looking at the deciding factors. If I had to watch one right now, I would probably watch Phineas and Ferb because it's just a smarter, more well-rounded show. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost one of them shows that's made for kids, but it can still appeal to adults who are a little bit immature. And honestly, just like, it's one of those shows that if you're a parent, I imagine parents could stand to watch Phineas and Ferb. Rugrats, they just did some madness in that show, but they also, like, I've seen enough YouTube videos to know they also had adult stuff in it, like the Russian roulette joke and the movie joke with Grandpa and everything like that. Millennial kid Brandon would have said Rugrats. I'm going Rugrats. So bam, Rugrats in the final. Ed, Edd n Eddy. The scenes, bro. Ed, Edd n Eddy. Dragon Ball Z. I mean, y'all already kind of knew what it was gonna be. I'm sorry. Like, right now, Brandon would have picked Ed, Edd n Eddy and Dragon Ball Z. At 15, Brandon would have picked Ed, Edd n Eddy and Dragon Ball Z. At like 12, I'd have picked Ed, Edd n Eddy and not picked Dragon Ball Z. And this is actually kind of easy because if I'm watching TV and Ed, Edd n Eddy's on one channel and Rugrats is on another channel, I'm watching Ed and Eddy. Scoot out the way. I'm watching Ed and Eddy. Ed and Eddy is the king. We've done it. We have completed the Millennial Kids Show bracket. Ed and Eddy wins. To be fair, I did this with a friend. Like, not like did the bracket, but somebody posted the bracket on my Facebook where I actually saw this and saved it and copied it from. And the person was like, which show is it? And I literally looked outside Ed and Eddy. I said, Ed and Eddy Rex. So like, I kind of knew that. I just wanted to see if I would really commit to that on camera. And I have. Ed and Eddy is my show. It's just what it is. Thank y'all for watching. This has been a longer video than I really anticipated. I thought this might take like 15 minutes. It's probably taking closer to 25 or 30. So with all that said, Ed and Eddy is the best cartoon of all time. Fight me, IRL. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you made it to the end, hit the like button. If you want me to do more kind of videos like this where I do like internet challenge type stuff, leave a like, comment down below if there's something else you want me to try. And thank y'all for watching. Subscribe. Peace. I'll talk to y'all later.